demon horse.
And to make matters worse, you know what happened when it was being built?
What happened?
The artist died because it fell on him. Yeah. So it's like
they picked it back up and was like, well, this is it.
The guy who designed the statue and was putting it like together died while he was putting it there. Happy birthday to you. I don't remember the words. Happy birthday.
I don't remember the fucking
Happy
word.
birthday to Marquise.
Years.
He's 19, finally legal.
I know fuckingly. 19 again, I wish.
What are you, 24?
24.
24.
Is it
Congratulations, another year.
Is it bad that I'm 24 and I already want to be 19? I already want to be 10 again.
I would love to be like 10 or 13. I want to be 13 again. That would be
13's
not
a good
bad.
one. Yeah. I feel like that's where you start I mean, like at a young age, you don't really realize, I mean, like how life is and like yourself and everything like that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be older so bad.
Me too, and I fucking don't understand.
Yeah, I just wanted to be able to do my own thing, which is always nice. Like, it's nice to be an adult and be able to like have freedom, but once you start getting to our age, you're like, fuck, I had it real nice back then.
I had it real nice. I was so upset with the discipline and not being able to do everything.
I wanted to smoke my weed and go see my girlfriend at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
Just do all the dumb shit, and I still kind of did it, but you know, I'll get yelled at for it. But
honestly,
how was your birthday?
It was really good actually.
I've got a gift for you, but it's being prepared as we speak. It's not here, but you're gonna have to come home to see it.
Okay.
And I think you're gonna like it.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think for sure so?
I think it'll make you a little hard, maybe a little wet.
I do like to get moist.
Moist. A lot of people don't like that word.
I know. I love it.
Anyway, this is episode 75 of the Scheuneman Show, and we're crack-a-lacking back in action. And we're back to normal as well. It won't be every other week or not at all. We'll be doing every week again. Sorry about that, guys. You know, I was sick, and then we told you guys last week that I was going to be in Colorado for a week. And
in the mountains.
I'm not in Colorado anymore. I'm back in Columbus. But yeah, I'm back from Colorado with quite a few stories to tell.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to be the main subject of today's episode because I've got a lot to get into. I mean, I'll give you a brief rundown and then we'll go into the details. But yeah, I went to Colorado for my, I think, third time. And I was there for like 7 days.
Okay.
And Colorado's sick. I highly recommend anybody who likes being outside or hiking or any kind of, or weed or good food, check it out because everything just looks crazy.
Oh, yeah, I bet the food is completely different from.
So good. We'll start with the food, I guess, but like, I do want to say, like, it's just so crazy being in Colorado because not only does the air feel so nice, because you're like, I was like 10,000 feet up.
Okay.
Like, and so.
Damn, 10,000 feet. That's crazy.
Yeah, like to me right now, it's so humid out right now because there's no like moisture in the air there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And the air is like thinner, so it's actually really good for your body to be at those like elevations.
Okay, yeah.
Because like your lungs kind of have to work harder, and so it kind of makes them like, I don't know, get stronger. Some people like can't handle the elevation. Like one time I brought a girl there and we landed in Denver, which is like the lowest part of Colorado, and I hate Denver.
Really?
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Okay.
But so we land in Denver and then you gotta drive to where we were going, which was like an hour and a half away, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it's like higher up into the mountains. So you go from, these are rough numbers, I don't think it's the exact, but you go from like 5,000 or 6,000 feet above sea level, and then we would drive to Estes from Denver, which goes up to, I believe, like 8,000 or 9,000. So, and Ohio's like 500, I want to say, if that. So it's super low. So you got to adjust to just Denver. And then you go to Estes, which is like 3,000 feet higher. And then this time I'm talking about where I brought this girl, the first day we made the mistake of bringing her an extra like 1,000 or 2,000 feet. So let me explain. Like when you go to a place like Colorado, even in Denver, you should like chill at that elevation to just make sure you're good, because some people will get kind of sick for the first day. They'll get like a headache or nauseous or kind of dizzy. Mm-hmm. So you're supposed to like take it step by step. So driving from Denver to Estes is one thing that's kind of fine, but you shouldn't go like immediately to as high as we did this time, because we took her immediately up to like the top of this mountain because it was a cool little drive. And we weren't thinking. And, like, she gets up to the top of this mountain and just starts, like, feeling super sick.
Oh, fuck.
Because you're supposed to take it slow. So her, like, ears are popping. Her head, like, is hurting a lot. She gets lightheaded.
Like pressure and shit. Basically.
Yeah. Like, and so everybody handles it differently. Like, I've never had an issue with the elevation. It just kind of... All I get is like a mild, super mild headache the first like day or half a day.
Okay.
And then I'm fine. But some people get wrecked by it.
I always think about that though, like with planes and shit though.
Yeah, I'm also with you there, because your ears pop, but you don't get like...
I mean, some people get nauseous.
Yeah, but I don't think it's nearly as common for people to get the sickness that you get when you land, which I don't understand.
But I did feel better when I had the air blowing on me and stuff. And plus, don't they have like shit in there to give like different oxygen levels? I would say.
I think they spice up the air in a plane. Yeah. But so anyway, I said we'll get into food real quick, because that's a quick little subject. The food there is so I think it's really good, and there's plenty of other places that are like culinarily better. Okay, but like, just first of all, when you're on vacation, you eat out a lot. So
who doesn't? Right?
Yeah, you get to enjoy that. But then like, I'll explain. Like this, for example, this one restaurant we went to was serving sausage and all different kinds of sausages, which I'm not a huge sausage guy.
What, really?
I mean, I like it, but it's not like, oh, I can't wait to have a sausage.
Oh, no.
This place would be like, we had a rattlesnake sausage.
You can wait to gargle that sausage.
Dude, I was swallowing big old sausage wieners.
Okay.
And by the way, at this sausage place, we heard this girl talking, and she was like, oh my God, I'm just going to swallow this wiener. And I don't even know she knew what she sounded like.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
she must love her sausages.
Yeah, she was like licking it up and down and stuff.
Oh,
like, can this fit in my mouth? I don't know. Oh my God. But no, this sausage place was so good because they would get all these different kinds of meats and put them into sausages, and you could like pick what kind you wanted.
Okay.
So we got like a rattlesnake one.
That's wild.
Which is, I'm like, bro,
a rattlesnake.
How you know you're not gonna get sick? Like, those are poisonous.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's
they just cut the fucking tail off.
Yeah. But so like
we've been doing this for a while, son.
Yeah,
you better gargle this gargle.
I mean, you better gargle it quick, bud.
You better gargle it.
Make sure you swallow. But it made me think of that fish. You know the fish that like it has to be prepared by a professional chef because it's the most like
talking about puffer fish.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it made me think of that. I know it's not like that because I think their venom is just in their like head.
Yeah,
or like it's like right next to their teeth.
Sorry to cut you off, but the sound of Bob pissing, man, is so delightful.
I know, dude. It's great for audio when your dad's just pissing in the background. But with the door open too, just the same way he shits for some reason.
Really nice.
Yeah, he just doesn't really think about other people.
Walk by, get that whiff.
Sometimes he'll like walk by and caress his thigh and then walk away.
Oh, I would too.
Or take the toilet paper and then just let him just crawl out.
Never mind.
So yeah, and then like there was a pheasant sausage that had like pheasant and mushrooms or something.
So what all did you try?
All of these were we got like 4 or 5 different kinds of sausage. There was one just traditional. There was one rattlesnake. There was one with like elk and buffalo.
I bet elk would be good.
Elk is like an elk burger is really good, and I used to think that was my favorite burger, but into another food subject. I got a yak burger. which is like it's a little bit fattier.
Are you yakking me right now?
Bro, I think I might be. It's kind of a gross name, but a
Yeah,
yak
yak.
is just like it looks kind of like a buffalo.
I mean, it's almost close to yuck. So I mean,
Yeah, but it was so good. It's like more tender and more fatty. And I got that in a burger, and it was bussin'. And then like one more thing, we went to this. Okay, so we went to this restaurant one night.
okay.
And we're a little sporadic right now, but pretty much on this Colorado
always,
trip.
but
Yeah. On this Colorado trip, something crazy happened
Okay.
while I was on a backpacking trip.
What's a vacation without some craziness?
It got real crazy. Because, so I just want a little bit of background information so people can understand. This was like the second or third night we were there. Okay. We went out to dinner. Really nice place. Okay. But that was the night before I was supposed to go on a 3-day backpacking trip.
3 days.
3 days. So it was 3 days, 2 nights.
So you're staying in there.
Yes.
And back. Yeah.
Okay. So we have that the next day, and so we're like, all right, let's get a nice dinner. And I had this whole trip been like eating myself into comas, like.
Oh, that's horrible to go hiking and eat yourself to comas.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I could already tell you.
Like this, even I think anytime I go to a restaurant, I'm like, I'm going to eat all of this, like probably too quickly, because it's just so good.
Yeah,
and
it's just so fucking good.
Restaurants really just grab you by the balls and are like, get hungry, motherfucker.
Are you really busting my balls right now?
Dude, I'm not. Because you'll be sitting there and you're looking at the menu and your mouth starts to water and you're like, this looks good and that looks good.
That's why they say don't go to the grocery store high.
Or hungry, dude. I've made that mistake plenty of times before. I remember the first time I ever got high, I went to the grocery store with my dad, like 30 minutes later. And that was the first time I ever bought pizza rolls. So
what?
Yeah.
I bet that was a change in your life.
It changed a lot.
You got pizza roll everything.
So I'm at this restaurant and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be able to, I don't know what the food's going to be like out there. And I'm going to bust my ass hiking all day and just get exhausted. So I need a good meal.
You're definitely going to be exhausted with a full tummy.
Yeah. So I went crazy because we ordered these appetizers that were these like big, huge bowls filled with mussels. Like seafood mussels.
Oh, yeah, mussels, yeah.
And then it had this, like, broth or soup type thing that they were, like soaking in.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, and it came with bread, right? So you get these, like, big, huge bowls, and it's for the table, and we got 2.
Oh.
And they're just filled with mussels.
How many people?
Right? It was me, Colin, Julia, Cole, Steve, and Mom. So 6 people, and we ordered 2 of them.
2 bowls, okay.
And, dude, it was so fucking good. You drink, like, the stuff it's soaking in was so good, you literally just drink it.
Yeah. Thanks.
And, like, we would, like, dip our fries in it. Oh. Dude, it was so good. And I already love mussels, so I'm just munching on that, eating bread, and that's the appetizer. And we were joking around, but it's like serious. You could have ordered that for yourself and been good. And mainly it was just me and Cole eating this. Steve picked at it a little bit.
Really, Steve?
Yeah, but like we were much more fried and hungry.
Yeah.
And Steve has to be careful with his eating because he's like gluten allergy and shit.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so I just demolish these mussels and drink this fucking like I guess you could call it soup. And that was amazing. And then I ordered a pasta with like mozzarella melted on it and like just all types of and crazy ingredients like bacon and red
bacon
sauce.
Goes good on everything.
Right, dude. And so by the end of this meal, I'm fully like dying.
Yeah, you're loaded.
Like the worst I've had it in a long time, where it's like you can feel it like pressure in your stomach and you're like, fuck it. I was also drinking, so I'm like,
fuck,
out of it, dude.
Yeah.
And we still have to pack our backpacks. And so, like, at the end of this meal, I'm like wobbling to the car and starting to feel like practically sick. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck, dude. So tired and like carved out. I was in a carb coma. And we get back, and I'm like laying on the couch, like groaning. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I ate way too much. I had to eat like Tums and
Oh no.
like some
What's
other
up
thing.
with you and fucking vacations? You're either sick, you're either dying,
Overeating or
overeating.
something. Dude, it got nuts. And so I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can do anything. I have to like shit my brains out. And then like Cole and Steve are like, all right, we got to pack our bags for the trip tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like I was barely. It's hard to explain. Like I barely had the energy to like stand up and walk over to like put the stuff in the bags.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting in the garage, like just on the floor, like slowly putting things in and like trying to remember everything. Because if you forget something on a 27-mile hike that's 3 days and 2 nights, then you're kind of screwed.
You can't go back.
Yeah. And so I'm like trying to be careful, but also like trying to get through it so I can just lay down. And we got that done. And it was just the bags ended up, I think my bag was like 27 pounds.
Oh, you weighed them?
Yeah, we weighed them to see like what, if we needed to, we could put more in or take some stuff out, because you have to be careful about the weight you bring in.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to bring shit that you don't need.
Yeah. Especially hiking with it on your back all the time.
Yeah, dude. And this is my first backpacking trip as well.
Okay.
So like I've done plenty of hiking and like camping, but I've never backpacked, especially in Colorado. Yeah. So I'm a little nervous about this. And I'm getting like everything prepared. And I had this one thing that I was really like making sure that I had set up was a portable battery that I could charge my phone and Juul on. Because you know how I am, guys.
How long does that thing last, though? 3 days.
Portable battery? Well, I mean, it should last as long as you need it to. Because if you think about it, I had 2 Juuls that were going to be fully charged from the beginning. And I don't really need my phone as much as the Juuls. Because you're not supposed to really be on your phone out there.
No,
anyway.
you're enjoying
the
scenery and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I have to make sure that both my Juuls are charged, my phone is charged, and I have the chargers for this portable battery.
Okay.
And so I'm like positive I packed that stuff in there.
Okay.
And then I like put all my clothes in there, my shit utensils, my like you have to bring like the part of the tent, like part of like stuff that you can cook, like so we're filling these bags up and. So we finish up, and I'm like, all right, we're good. Now I can go lay down and, like, shit my brains out.
Yeah.
And so we go to sleep, and I'm, like, laying there, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this is going to be super, like, it's intimidating.
Okay.
Because I don't know how hard it's going to be. I'm just getting over sickness.
Yeah.
And I'm also carved out. So I'm like, dude, this is kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Because I also I struggle with sleeping already.
Yeah,
so sleeping in a tent.
Oh fuck, bro! I bet that got you big.
Yeah, so I'm like laying there just worrying about it at night, and then I fall asleep and wake up, and now we'll go back to the beginning of the trip.
Okay.
And we'll get back to the backpacking because shit goes down.
Okay.
So first day we fly in, we our flight was at like. I want to say like 1:30. And so we fly into Denver. And let me start by saying, like I said, I'll get into how I hate Denver. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But even more than how much I hate Denver, their airport I fucking hate.
Oh, shit. Why?
It's so crazy. All right. So first of all, the airport is like the size of fucking Texas. Like not literally.
Time out. Oh, dude, that scared my fucking
What?
balls,
You didn't
bro.
think it was recording?
No, it popped up. Hey, do you want to use this audio, this type, like basically use the computer to record? I clicked no, and it zoomed to where we are. So we're good.
Podcasting is
oh my gosh, my balls just dropped to my fucking feet.
When you start going 40 minutes into a pod and realize nothing's on, you know what I mean?
Do you believe we're already 21 minutes in?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, So Denver's airport is so big that they have like underground trains that you use.
What?
Yeah.
Woo!
So like a subway system to get from different terminals.
Okay.
And it's also in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Like it looks like Kansas out there. Like it's just flat fields.
Really? Okay, so it's an airport with just flat fields around.
Yeah, all around it. Nothing really. And there's like big fucking wooden like instead of a gate, they use like wooden barriers.
Oh, okay, okay.
It looks weird, dude, and it's a big ass airport and very confusing.
Maybe we can get a picture of the airport.
Yeah,
we'll Denver.
Denver Airport. Yeah.
Denver
okay.
Airport.
And then also, this airport is known for being weird, creepy, conspiracy-ridden type shit. Okay, so let me get into it. First of all, this is like known stuff, kind of like there's paintings in there that make absolutely no sense. Like
Are they
it's
old, like
scary
older
paintings. There's this one painting of like a Russian soldier wearing a gas mask, holding a sword, and there's like huts on fire. It's like scary for no reason. No airport should ever be this scary, all right?
Oh, man, okay.
And then I saw this one other painting where it's like ghosts, like ghost faces just like littered across the mountains. And like it looks like people's ancestors, but they're like see-through. Like they look like ghosts. And there's this like guy just sitting praying. They're like the weirdest.
What the that's creepy.
The weirdest art, dude.
That's creepy. Yeah.
Like we'll put, I'm sorry, Marquise, but this is probably going to be a picture-heavy episode.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures over here.
So I'll show you one of them. They're weird. And then on top of that, since we're on the subject of the art there, there's a famous statue that's out front of the airport.
Okay.
It makes no sense why this person designed it to be this spooky. It is a huge dark blue horse, right?
Okay.
And it looks like aggressive and mad. And it's like on its back legs, like kicking up, right?
Okay.
Its eyes are glowing red, like a demon horse.
Demon horse.
And to make matters worse, you know what happened when it was being built?
What happened?
The artist died because it fell on him. Yeah. So it's like
they picked it back up and was like, "Well, this is it."
The guy who designed the statue and was putting it like together died while he was putting it there, and then they just still put it up. So it's a known. It's also like whenever a lot of people like leave the airport and they always look for that horse. It's like a known thing. It would be super easy to find. Denver Airport horse.
Who put the horse?
And it literally like it fell on him while he was putting it up and he died. Jeez. So there's that. And then also there's a big conspiracy that I kind of believe that it's also supposed to work as like an emergency end of the world like bunker. Because the word is that there's like cities built underneath it. Because you know how I talked about those terminals, like those trains on underground?
Yeah.
While you're on these trains, you can even see there's like tunnels that lead to nowhere. And like so many like unnecessary off tracks.
So I'm getting to the point that you don't like Denver because of how weird, scary, and...
Dude, I don't like Denver's airport because it's fucking horrifying. And then Denver also is just boring and gross and sucks.
Is it just fields? Like
pretty much. I'll be honest, I've never been to Denver City. I've seen pictures, but the Denver airport makes Denver look like shit.
Okay.
And it's also, the other reason that I think Denver sucks so much is because Colorado is a beautiful state.
Yeah.
And when you land in Denver, you would think that Colorado sucks because you have to drive like 40 minutes to start seeing what Colorado really looks like. So if somebody landed into Denver and looked around and like thought that that's what Colorado's like, the Colorado wouldn't be shit.
You turn around and fly back.
Yeah, you just be like, okay, bye. See ya. Because it looks like Kansas. It really does.
Okay.
And Kansas is just fields and fields of like yellow, and that's it.
Okay.
But even Kansas is cooler than Denver. Like, because Kansas...
Damn, you just... it looks like
I'm shitting on Denver, I'm sorry. But like, Kansas looks so like nothing that it's cool.
Yeah.
Because for as far as you can see, it's just yellow fields.
Okay.
And so there's like almost legitimate reasoning behind the theory that like there's like bunkers and cities built underneath the airport because I think it's been proven they built a lot of stuff that they thought they were going to use and then never used it. So they kind of
You
like,
think that explains the tunnels and stuff, though?
yeah, a lot of the tunnels were supposed to be used and then they never did use. But the theory is that they were like, all right, well, let's do something with it. And then they like kind of turned it into a like underground city kind of thing. Like you could probably survive under there. And I was like remembering that as I was going through this train to get to my to get to where you get picked up after landing.
Yeah.
And I was like looking down these, and it's like, yeah, why is that there? Why is there like an off track that goes to nowhere with no lights on? There's like so many doors that just like they claim. Maybe I'm stupid, but I saw this one thing where it was like an arrow pointing to an exit, and then the opposite direction of where the arrow's pointing, there's a door right next to it that says exit. So it's like, nah, that door's not an exit, bro.
No, that. Why is it?
I was like, that door goes somewhere else, to Narnia or some shit.
Why is that here?
And then there's like weird fans on the walls.
On the walls?
Yeah, like you could make an argument that it's maybe art or serves a
You
purpose.
mean like
little propeller fans, like 20 of them.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like they're weird, like as in like they.
I don't know why they're there. It's weird, dude. And then
Are they okay? So do you think there would be like a propeller, like a plane propeller, or is it literally like a fan, or like?
it looks like a small plane propeller,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's like a square of the wall is just filled with them.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
So the airport's just really weird. We land and and the other thing, when we landed there,
Yeah.
we're walking trying to get to our baggage, which by the way was a pain in the ass because I had so much stuff with me because I had to bring backpacking stuff to and from Colorado. So I'm carrying like 40, 50 pounds of like stuff.
How many bags is that?
3.
3 bags. Okay.
So I had a carry-on and then I checked 2. One was the backpack I took hiking.
Okay.
And one was this huge, obnoxious bag to carry. It like didn't have like a strap. You had to hold it from your hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was like so big and filled with all of my clothes and all of my camping stuff.
Plus, you brought more because you're going camping.
Exactly. And I have a bag full of shoes. It was so annoying. And so, yeah, we get into the airport and we're trying to find where to pick up our bags.
Okay.
And we run into this lady and she's in a booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting like this in a booth, and there's like a open window thing to the right of her, and then an open window to in front of her, and then everything else is like covered with like a plastic, and then there's like a line, like a yellow line on the ground right along.
It's like caution or like.
I don't know why the yellow line was there, but it was there.
Okay.
And so we walk up, and this is gonna sound fake, but I swear to God it's real. This was an NPC, dude. We walked. And we were trying to find out where our bags were, so we look at her. She's still looking forward, and we're like, "Hey, do you know where we can go to pick up our bags?" And we explained like the flight we're on. And she was like, I think the first thing she said was, "Step forward so I can see you." She's sitting like this. We're like right here. She could have been like.
That's spooky.
But she's sitting, she's looking forward and says that while also just still not looking to us. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Step forward so I can see you." And we take a couple steps forward, and that yellow line is in front of us. She's like, "Don't cross the line." And then we're like, "Okay." And she's like, "Come to the front. The front is past the line."
Okay.
So we're like,
We can't pass the line.
yeah. And I was like, and she's still looking forward. And she's like, "What do you need?" And then we were like, "We need to find our bags." And she was like, "I don't know," or something like that. Still looking forward. And we're like behind the yellow line, like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know
and she's like, "Go that way." Still looking forward. And then that way is past the yellow line.
So she's trying to set you up.
Dude, she was being so weird. It was like, it's like, "Where are our bags?" She's like, "I don't know." "Yes, I do. Go that way. Don't go that way. Stay there. Don't look at me. Look at me." Like she was just making no sense, and the whole time her neck didn't move, like her head didn't move. She
stayed still, like.
Yeah, like I'll be her. I'll be her. Ask where the bags are.
Hey, where are the bags at?
"I don't know. Step forward. Don't cross that line. Stay there.
I'm just trying to look for my bags.
Go past the line."
But I don't want to.
"You're welcome." Like, and she was so weird. You had to be there, but me and Cole were like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It was the weirdest person I've ever met. I think maybe she was an NPC or an AI bot, or her neck
think
was
she
broken.
was a robot or an AI?
I don't know. I think she was like a cyborg, or either that or she like broke her neck. Because once again, one of the weirdest things, like past what she said, was just the fact she wouldn't look at us.
I know how to throw her off. If you ever go again, you ever see her, like, I'm not trying to press your buttons.
How do you know I have buttons?
Malfunction.
I don't have buttons. Will Smith, iRobot. So that lady was weird. Oh, and then another thing, when we got to the Columbus airport at like probably like 11 or 12, we found Colin and his girlfriend, and they were in Chili's, and they're like, we've been here for 2 hours. And they were shit-faced. They were just shit-faced.
Wait, I thought he was leaving sooner than you guys.
No, I think he left. Yeah, he left us. No, he left Colorado sooner than we did. So he got back to. He stayed for like 4 days, and we stayed for 7, or maybe he stayed for 5. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, he was just in Colorado for a shorter time. But it was funny because when we got to the airport, they were like, "Yeah, we got here super early, so we could just get fucked up at Chili's."
Jeez.
Because he called me, and I was like, "Oh my God, Colin is sloshed."
Yeah.
But so yeah, we go. Fast forward, we're leaving the Denver airport, and we go to Estes. Estes Park in Colorado is a beautiful place.
Okay.
It's like one of my favorite places.
So you recommend it?
Oh yeah, dude. Check out Estes Park, because it's like right before you enter Rocky Mountain National Park. So you have crazy views all around you. There's a like beautiful town that has all kinds of stuff that you would want.
Okay.
There's like trails you can walk to. It's just a really cool place.
Okay.
And so we stayed at this hotel there called the Ridgeline. And it's really cool because they have like a restaurant in the lobby. It's really nice. They have like cool snacks and foods you can get there. And they have like fire pits outside, and you can ask for s'more kits.
Oh, that's sweet.
Right? And
That's not normal.
Yeah, no, it's not. They do stuff crazy in Colorado.
Okay,
And so, and then there's like a pool and a hot tub, and they have a projector in the pool room that plays like Bob's Burgers and shit.
Oh,
yeah,
show.
it was a
Good
vibe.
show.
And so we get there and we like put our stuff away. And I mean, I guess one of the highlights is like on our, I think this was our second night.
Okay.
We were like chilling at I walked up to the fire pits with a joint, and I was waiting for Cole. And there was this one fire pit with just one older guy like sitting there, and I sat across from him and lit up my joint because it's legal there. And so I'm just smoking, and then Cole walks up and he sits down, and we're talking for a second, and then the guy across from us is like, "Are you guys smoking?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Weed?" And I was like, "Yeah, do you mind?" He's like, "Actually, yeah." He's like, "Can you move?" And but he looked around like his kids were about to be there or something.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of awkward. I was like, "Ah, shit." I knew I should have asked him, but I just lit it up anyway because I was chilling. But
Of course, something like that would happen, right? Mm-hmm. It's legal, but there's this guy that doesn't want it.
yeah, I mean, some people I think they get annoyed. Because it's like, God, I don't smoke weed. I don't want people smoking weed around me.
Dude, I haven't
or like
smoked in a
family
minute.
guys. What?
I haven't smoked in a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I smoked this Moon Rocks joint.
Oh.
It was so fucking crazy. Because I was preparing my tolerance leading up to this. So I would be able to like smoke and stuff. And dude, that Moon Rocks joint made it hard to walk.
Hit you like a brick, didn't it?
Yeah, dude. We passed the fuck out after. But so we're chilling at these fire pits, and then they close at like 11 or something, right? And so we walked away to go to this liquor store, got this crazy cool bottle of tequila. It was one of the best tequilas I've ever had.
Do you remember what it was?
I've never seen it before. It was like a little round black bottle of Reposado tequila, and it looked like handmade and everything.
Ooh, that's
It
sweet.
was like $45.
That's not
But
bad.
it was like a little small one.
Oh, okay.
Well,
might be a little pricey.
because it was round, so I don't know how to judge how big it actually was. But
Yeah.
got us getting good. So we get back from the liquor store, And we were like, oh, I hope the fires are still on. And we had like 10 minutes left before the fires got turned off.
Okay.
And so we like sat down, and then I was like, dude, I wish we could just have these on for the night.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Cole was like, let me see about that. And he like walked up and saw the guy. Oh, no. We were sitting there, and then the guy that was supposed to turn the fires off before he left was walking up to do that. And we were like, hey, would you like, could we like take this $10? Could you like wait a little bit before you turn the fires off? And he's like, yeah, I got you. I'll do my rounds, and then before I leave here, I'll turn them off. So you guys can get an extra like 15, 20.
All right.
And we're like, all right, bet. And so we chill there, smoke and drink at the fires. And at this point, we're like fucked up. And so this guy comes back after a while, and he's like coming to turn them off. And we're like, thanks for keeping them on. And we're sitting there with the fires off for a second, and they're cooling down. And I was like, damn, Cole, I bet you could just turn them on yourself.
Okay.
And he gets up and walks behind me, and then like 10 seconds later, I hear him flip a switch, and then the fire right next, there's 3 fireplaces, so the fire like across from us turned on. And I was like, sick.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got it.
It's go time.
Yeah, and so we had the fire just going ourselves.
Okay.
Broke the system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we're just chilling there, smoking, and that was fun. And then we turned it off because we went to go see if the pool's still open. And we walked in there, and on the pool door it said like 9 a.m. to
like
11
10?
p.m.
Oh, 11?
Or something
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And there was like a place where you could put your hotel key like to open the door, and we just put it there, and then the door opened. But it was like 11:30, so we're like, oh. These are technically still like accessible.
Skinny dipping,
dude. And so we like literally just walked in there, and like I can't even stress enough. Like we're so fucked up. We just walk in there and sit in the hot tub, and it's like midnight.
And it's a hot tub.
Yeah, dude. It was so nice.
Sounds so
and we like recorded these hilarious like videos of us just like sitting there talking like all fucked up and like falling down and shit.
Like us back in the day when we first got high and we fucking...
Literally, like that. And like, I took this picture of Cole like laying back. Like he's laying down on the side. I'll probably send it to you to put in here. And he has a can of beer in his hand. And he's like laying down and the beer's just sideways pouring into the hot tub. And I laughed so hard at this picture. I was like, bro, I had like.
This sounds like a good ass.
We ended up accidentally posting it, and it was like we said some crazy shit like "skirt and learnt," like we were
skirt and learnt.
Yeah, we were just making up words and shit. And I posted on my Snapchat and totally forgot. And then the next morning, I like woke up and saw it, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta take this down because it was just you could just.
Did a special someone see?
No, that wouldn't have been fun, but shit, what else? Okay, so, and then there was this other night in Estes Park where, so like, right in Estes, there's this famous hotel called the Stanley. And the Stanley is where they filmed and based the movie The Shining off of.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be this crazy haunted hotel.
Okay.
And it looks sweet, it's really old, and there's like all kinds of stuff in there to enjoy. And the story is that like Stephen King was like up in Colorado because he would like take trips there frequently, I guess, and he was trying to write, and he stayed at the Stanley one night, and I guess he said that I think it was a dream that he had where he stayed there that night, and then he had a dream about like crazy shit happening in the hotel. Like pretty much he had a dream that was The Shining.
Okay.
So
and that's how The Shining came about?
Because he was saying that he had like dreamt of like seeing these like 2 twins trying to kill him like in The Shining, and like seeing ghosts and shit and all kinds of stuff. And he had like
Denver.
Yeah. And the ghosts of Denver were in Steven's head that night. And Yeah, like he said that it was like the scariest dream he's ever had. But then also you have to keep in mind, like Stephen King, I don't think a lot of people realize this. He was like a cokehead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like he would get fucked up and drink and like do a lot of coke. And so I think he had like a crazy like drugged out fever dream.
Yeah.
And like then he would because
Just hit him.
he's talked about how he wrote a lot of his most famous books like fucked up on coke.
Damn.
So, like I think he wrote it on cocaine, like in like 2 nights. Yeah, so he had this crazy dream, and it inspired The Shining, and he like wrote about it and everything. Pretty much just like formatting what he experienced in that dream.
Yeah.
And he would like start going there frequently to write, and it became like a famous thing. And apparently, at some point. Oh, they also filmed Dumb and Dumber there.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's the one where they like pull up in that like fancy car at the hotel, and I think they say it's Aspen in the movie, but it's actually it's.
I remember the dog truck in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Dumb and Dumber 1 or 2, but they definitely it's the hotel that they finally get to at the end of one of the movies where, yeah, it's 1 because they're looking for that girl that has the briefcase that they're trying to return.
So
to her.
long.
I know. But so yeah, Dumb and Dumber was filmed there, and The Shining. They took for The Shining. They took the inside of the Stanley in Colorado and used that to film. But the weird thing is the outside of the hotel in The Shining is actually a different hotel in like Oregon. So they used the outside of one and the inside of the other.
Why do you think they did that?
The outside of the one in Oregon is way creepier and in the middle of nowhere, but the outside of the Stanley is not as creepy as the inside of it is.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't. It's kind of weird that they did that, but it gets a little confusing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's ghost tours at this hotel now.
Mike.
Because it supposedly was already haunted, and then on top of that,
this whole fucking Colorado sounds creepy right now.
Well, it's super fun, but we've gotten into the creepy stuff first.
Yeah.
But we do this ghost tour, and I thought it would be fun anyway, but I was like, obviously, you need to be high to see the ghosts.
Okay, yeah.
So we got like
See him for real.
Super stoned and went to this ghost tour. And
Are you calling for the ghost or something?
Well, I'll do a little quick thing of this because it was actually hilarious. But so we go in, and I'm like stumbling, and we get this tour guide, and we just barely make it in time, and we start like we meet up with the group, and they go into this like first room, and it's like an open kind of like auditorium stage room. But it's keep in mind it's like super old and it kind of is creepy, and they like have all the lights off.
Okay.
And apparently, I don't know if the tour guide told people this or if people just already knew, but what people will do in there is they take flash pictures, and that's how you're supposed to like find these ghosts. They like show up in pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the people there were just constantly flashing pictures, right?
Oh fuck. Okay.
And then it was super, super, super funny because this tour guide was like really bad or like didn't want to be there because he like first of all he starts the tour by he's like, all right, this is the first room we'll be in, and it's the most I'll have to talk this whole tour, so I'm gonna try and get through it quick.
Okay.
And then he just starts going like this, like
fuck.
He speeds through so much information,
like Sword Wars talker or like a bidder.
Yeah, dude, he's talking in tongues or something. Like, and so he's like saying all this shit with like no emotion either. Like, I think this guy was a little off because he's like,
he's like, man, I've seen all the ghosts.
Yeah, dude. He was just talking like so bland. He was like, so the word is that they saw this here and this is that, and he is a janitor.
So much creepier.
Yeah, but like he was like funny as fuck.
Oh, okay.
But not trying to be.
Okay.
So, because the funniest thing,
or you were just high as fuck.
Yeah, that too. But the funniest thing he would do is he had these pictures of like ghost sightings, right?
Oh shit!
And he would like each room he would pull out a couple of them, but every time, dude, he would be like, "I have a picture to show you guys. This one really sucks. I don't like it, but here you go, check it out." check it out, check it out. And he would like pass it along. Next picture, he's like, yeah, this was a picture that somebody took on one of our last tours. I think it's pretty bad quality, but here you go. Check it out. Like he would,
like it's supposed to be fucking 4K.
Well, he would diss the pictures every time.
Yeah.
Like, and it was so funny because be like, yeah, this picture's a piece of shit. Here you go. You see it? You see it? All right. I think this picture is like kind of okay. It's all right. Not my favorite. Here you go.
Here you go.
It's like, dude, stop talking shit about your own tour.
Yeah.
But like, it was funny because like, I'm not doubting that maybe some creepy shit has gone down there.
No. Yeah.
But like, the pictures were like, I could Photoshop that.
Oh, really?
Like, I could easily make it.
Oh, fuck.
It'd be like a shadow figure. It's like, dude, with today's technology, you could do that so easily.
Yeah.
And so I was cracking up because he'd just be like, this picture fucking sucks. Just like, check it out. And so that was hilarious to me. And then we go into this one room, and it's like supposed to be where somebody got, I don't know, like it was like the rooms where these two employees stayed that were apparently like the ghosts that are there now. Like this guy named Dennis apparently like haunts the hotel, and it was like where Dennis stayed. Or like
okay, so these are like ghosts that are always there. Like
and like they know him by name or whatever.
Dennis.
And so they took us to
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, they took us to these rooms, and they were like all dark, and they had like a couch and a bed in them, and they let you like walk around. And so I'm like fucked up. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit on this couch.
Yeah,
it looks pretty comfy. And like everybody's like,
where you get
I'm trying to find some ghosts. And like I sit down on the couch and I'm just like, this is nice. And then people are like laughing and like taking pictures because they're just like, bro doesn't care. And so I'm sitting there, and then I walk out and I grab Cole. I'm like, this couch is so nice. You should check it out. And then
you're like, just fried over here like, bro, I'm enjoying this couch.
I was like, this is such a comfy couch. I don't care about the ghosts. Fucking touch me.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm like, Cole, sit down. He's like, all right, take a picture of me. And it's pitch black in the room. So I take a picture, and the flash comes on, and I immediately see Cole look so fried. Like he's sitting like a fucking like NPC, like
how I'm sitting. I've been slouching this whole
No, he's like,
oh really? Oh.
Dude. And because it was pitch black, I didn't see what he looked like until the flash showed me. And so I just burst out laughing.
Oh, in the middle of it?
Yeah, and there's like 3 people in the room with us, and I just can't stop laughing.
Oh, no.
I'll show the picture because it's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
You kind of had to be there, though, because it's like I'm in pitch black, high, drunk, and I take a picture, and then Cole's face is just like just so fun. Like, it was so funny because the first one I took, I started laughing so hard that like it was a live photo, so the picture came out and it was just blurry.
Oh, okay.
And then I took another one, and then you can like just show him what he looked like.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. And this girl like comes up to us while we're laughing, and she's like, "You guys need to stop having so much fun."
What?
And I was like, but she said it like it was a joke. But then, and then my mom was like, "I think she's a little off."
Oh,
because then like 5 minutes later, as we're leaving there, she comes up behind me and grabs my hips, and she was like, "Did I get you?" And I was like, "You molested me." And I was like, "Why'd you just touch my hips like that?"
Yeah.
And she like skimpers away, and I was like, "Dude, what?"
Like.
Yeah. And I was like, my mom was like, "See, I think she's a little weird."
Oh my gosh.
And dude, and there was this grandma lady that was like on a scooter, and she was like the most.
You and these damn grandma ladies,
dude, right?
The scooters.
Scooters follow me.
Did you get ran over again?
No, but she would be like not. She would be like, there'd be steps we had to get up, and she'd be like, well, her like granddaughter would be like, "Do you need help?" She's like, "I don't need no help. I'm doing it." And then like, she'd just say random shit, like like an old lady that doesn't really have a filter.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I'm trying to think of a good example. they'd be explaining something like, "Oh, Dennis used to do this," and then she'd like look at her granddaughter and loudly say like, "Don't you remember when Tyler used to do that?"
What the fuck? Oh my gosh!
She'd just be like goofing off, and like while we were there was like this story about like these rock climbers that fell off a mountain and died.
Oh shit!
And randomly she was like, "Did you hear about the dead guy on the mountain?"
The dead guy on the mountain. Jeez.
So she was just like didn't have a filter, and that was funny. And yeah, so at the end of the tour, they told us about like what happened to Stephen King when he was there, like with his crazy dream.
Yeah.
And then I heard this. They told us this other thing that apparently like Jim Carrey, when he went to film Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah.
he knew, like, he had heard about the Shining story and how like The Shining was filmed there because it's like a famous hotel. Like celebrities have been there a lot. And so he was like, all right, I'm going to rent out the room that Stephen King stayed in and stay there for as long as I can. And he claims that like apparently, well, this is real. He like lasted like 2 minutes and then came into the lobby like screaming in his underwear. But it is Jim Carrey we're talking about. Yeah, so you don't know if he was like thinking this is funny or like trying to get attention or if he really like saw some shit. But like apparently it's like a real story, and you can look up interviews where people will ask him like what happened in the Shining hotel.
Yeah.
And he'll get up and walk away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like he'll spiel about it.
No, he'll be like, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I know, but why doesn't he spill the beans?
Because I think he's trying. I
would
would love to imagine that he really saw some crazy shit and it spooked him.
Yeah.
But I think he's just trying to be dramatic and like get attention.
Mm.
Because, like, bro, apparently he literally lasted, like, 2 minutes in the room and then, like, came out in his underwear screaming at people.
And how long was
Stephen King stayed the night there, but he had a crazy dream.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, it's pretty wild. And apparently there's this, like, crazy story that's, like, known where there was, like, a little girl standing in a window for 2 hours. And
that gave me chills.
people, like, literally like sat outside of the hotel and took pictures of it for hours because nobody knew who it was, and that room was like closed. And so like he showed us a picture of that and still was like, this picture fucking sucks. It was so funny, dude.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then last thing on the Shining hotel, there was the last thing that we go through is like this tunnel that apparently like employees will get spooked down there. And it was crazy because it's like this like basement tunnel, but it's literally like gravel and rocks on the walls. Like it literally feels like you're outside but under the building.
Okay.
It's like a literal like mining tunnel kind of thing.
Okay.
And he was like, you guys can go everywhere down here, just not that room at the end. That's the break room. So they make the employees go into this break room that's like underground and like a tunnel, like to hide them. Because he was talking about how they would, back in the day, they had it built that way because employees, like, they didn't want people to see like employees moving around. Like, you only want to see an employee when they're helping you. So he was like, yeah, they like to hide us down here. This is our break room. But, like, you kind of had to be there because it's, like, hilarious that they make these employees go down into this, like, shitty tunnel.
Yeah, shitty ass
Yeah, and they're like, go eat lunch there. You know what I mean? Like, it's the break room. That's where all they have to all go down there to have lunch.
You think anybody had to go, like, alone?
Yeah, all the time. They just don't care. They're just like, you go down there. Fuck you. Because I can't do it justice. Like, it was as though, let me think. It's like if you worked at, so there's like a McDonald's, right? And there's the McDonald's is in front of a wooded area, like a woods. And the McDonald's manager was like, you guys have to go eat lunch in the outhouse out there. Or like in the woods.
Yeah.
Don't eat lunch in the customers area. Go fuck out of there. Go eat in the woods.
Oh, fuck.
It was like, I can't do it justice. But
I used to smoke in the trash can area.
Dude, yeah, we used to smoke blunts in the dumpsters. Dude, Do you remember? Have we told the story of when a kid we worked?
Are you talking about the chicken? You're good. You're good. Are you talking about the chicken nugget story?
Yeah.
I don't think we told about that.
Dude, there was this kid we worked with at McDonald's, and he got fired because he carved out a bull piece into a chicken nugget and smoked the weed in the walk-in fridge, I think.
Was it the walk-in fridge? I thought he was smoking out back and then he walked in.
He had the door cracked,
Yeah.
standing just right in front of the door, smoking out of a chicken nugget. It was kind of hilarious, but, dude, the kid was dumb. And also the
didn't
funny,
give a fuck.
Yeah, the funny thing about that story too is I went to school with him and I was in class and bro tried to tell me I wasn't professional at my job, which by the way, McDonald's, so obviously not. But like I was like, I'm much more professional than you. You got fired. I still work there. And then he's like, bro, what are you talking about? I was like, do you want me to? Because
You want me to go grab the chicken nugget?
Yeah, like he's saying this in front of the teacher and like all these students, like about how I suck at my job. I was like, bro, you got fired for doing what? Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, shut up. I was like, don't talk.
Why do you even bring that up? That's
professionalism.
something you don't want to bring up. And then
Yeah, dude, don't.
knowing what.
The Shining Hotel was crazy. It's kind of spooky. Oh, we'll have a picture right here. I did get a picture of one of the ghosts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because there's this flag, an American flag,
Okay.
and there's a face on it. And now you could make the argument it's just a dirty flag that happens to look like it has a face on it.
Oh,
But
shit.
I did see that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so I snapped the picture. You can see the face. But yeah, apparently like there's this one ghost there. Like I think it is Dennis that will like touch your ankles and like rub your butt
Weird.
and
Did
everything.
you feel touched?
Cole fingered my butt one time, but I thought it was Dennis.
You thought it was Dennis.
Yeah. So that part was cool. Well, let me get. So there was this one time we got. Now there's gonna be a whole like part 2 of this same episode, but like
For sure. There's probably so much to talk.
Well, like it's gonna be like in this episode, but I'm saying like the vibe's about to change, so don't think I'm just some like alcoholic stoner.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say this one more thing, like, dude, we got dropped off. Okay, sorry. Professional. We there's this famous ride that you can take from Estes all the way up to the top of a mountain. The one I talked about, how we brought that girl there for her first time.
Yeah.
We did the drive from Denver all the way up to the top of a mountain, like a 3,000, 4,000 feet difference.
Fucking wild.
All in like an hour, and she
Yeah.
got fucked up from it.
Yeah.
So that's like a famous drive you can take.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but it's like you go up a mountain and the road is like off a cliff. Like you literally could look out the window and it's like if you drive off this road, you're dead. And we did it for my mom's first ever time at night.
At night?
At night. It was it made me so
Are there lights and
anxious.
shit?
Barely. Like your headlights is what you got. And so you go up this mountain slowly and like the whole time it's like impending death is like if you fuck up, you're done. And it's a one-way. So you're driving up just hoping nobody comes down. And like it's really beautiful.
Why are they always like that though?
What do you mean?
I feel like they're more so always like a one-way going up the mountain and down, and instead
Yeah,
of
especially
having
like big mountains and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like a dirt road. And my mom's like decent at driving, but she's, she's not super great. And so like she's like, yeah, I've never done this at night. Steve will be so proud of me.
Oh my gosh,
Dude, you're freaking me out,
yeah,
dude.
bro.
And so it's like, and we started
Take
like
another shot.
we started as the sun's like starting to go down, and like by the time we're like a quarter or halfway up, it's dark.
And you have to go back down?
Yeah. And so it was really creepy, but the view was insane. Picture here. And like once you get to the top, there's like a little restaurant and like a gift shop and shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And
Imagine
so
have to drive up there every day to get to work.
right? Like imagine, dude. And imagine you're like
You think you can get used to it?
yeah. But
Yeah.
that's a difficult in the winter. I think they close it in the winter, but I'm not positive. It's a high mountain. It's like 12,000 feet, I think.
Fuck.
So yeah, we're going up this thing.
Maybe they have a tunnel inside of it.
Oh, that's the other thing. There's another book that Stephen King wrote that takes place in Colorado. It's The Stand, I think.
Okay.
It's about the end of the world. And there's this famous tunnel where it goes through a mountain. Which, by the way, how'd you build that?
I've seen some like pictures where people have like a highway's going through a mountain.
But it's like through. I know it's happened many times, but I will never understand that.
Why did you look around like a ghost has followed you?
I heard a movement thing.
Oh, you scare me, bro.
But it goes through a mountain, and there's 2 lanes going one way and 2 lanes going the other way. And in this book that Stephen King wrote, the tunnel just gets filled up with cars that broke down and bodies, or people are climbing over piles of bodies and shit.
What the fuck?
Because sometimes you'll get traffic. And these roads will just fill up with cars. And you're on the side of a mountain, and then there's a tunnel that goes through a mountain. So you could imagine how, if the world was ending, dude, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, Colorado is so beautiful. You look around you, and you just see huge mountains and lakes. And
I want to see it. Well, you're taking animals.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to be the one that goes next.
You think?
No, I mean, you know what I mean. As long as you're down.
I'm down.
Okay. And so, I guess, did I tell you? Oh, no. Okay. So we went on this.
Like a stop. You got another one.
We go on this crazy drive up a mountain. Obviously, we didn't die. But it was crazy views. I've never seen it at night. The mountains are the mountains are like a silhouette, and then glowing behind it is like this crazy blue and orange, yellow light.
Okay.
And so it was really cool to see, and it was me, my mom, Cole, and Julia, because Colin smoked himself to death because he hasn't been smoking that much, and so he got this crazy 2% weed. I don't mean crazy in a good way. I mean crazy it was the 2%.
Yeah, when you said 2%, that got me.
It's paid $35 for an eighth. Yeah.
Okay.
It was because he walked into the first dispensary we went to, and he's like, "Do you guys have anything really mild?" And they were like, "We have this." And it's 2%.
2%.
And he smoked that, and apparently fucked with him, and he had to go to bed early. So it was just us. And yeah, that ride was crazy, but I'll get to the point. When we finished that, you go back down, and luckily the way back down it's a different road, and it's a little more you have a little bit more wiggle room.
Okay.
Because the way up, you're taking tight turns around to get up and everything, and it's straight drops on the other side. But anyway, after we finished that drive, we got dropped off in Estes. So downtown Estes, and it was a mile away from our hotel because we wanted to hit a bar or check out some shops, and it was just me and Cole that got dropped off. Yeah. And so we're walking around this cool ass town. It's really a vibe, and all the shops are closed except for this bar that we found. It was a really cool bar, and we had some drinks, had a couple shots and everything, and we're sitting next to these 2 guys, and one of them is fucked up, really fucked up. We watched him get cut off. You know, they're you can't have any more.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking to them, and then all of a sudden the bartender comes up. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna get you some water," and he's like, "Can I not have another drink?" He's like, "We just want you to take a little break," and he's like, "Oh, I'll take my bill then," and he's like, "All right, but let's get you some water. You want ice?" And he's like, "I don't need ice." And he's slobbering and slurring and shit. And he's like, "Whatever, guys." And they're like, "Are you driving?" And he's like, "No." And then he dropped his keys on the floor.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. And so he gets cut off, and he's all pissed. And then we're drinking. And when we finish our drinks, by the way, this bar was really cool.
Yeah.
It's just a vibe. But we finished our drinks, and I was like, "Cole, you got to do one shot with me, before we leave." And he was like, I had to convince him. And I was talking to the bartender. I was like, "Tell him he needs to do a shot with me."
Yeah, get him in.
And she's like, "Well, who's driving?" And I was like, "It makes me feel so good to say that we're walking."
Yeah.
Legally fucked up.
Yeah, walking. Yeah.
And so she was like, "All right, I got you." And then we both get shots. He gets a lime, and I'm like, "Hey, can I get like a little Sprite?" And she's like, "Oh, so you're the pussy." And I was like, "What?"
He calls you out.
And she was like, "Well, you tried to convince your friend to do a shot, so why you need Sprite?" And I was like, "I just wanted a Sprite because I never knew, but like Sprites aren't like that. Shit's like free at a bar. Usually,
Depends.
if you get it with a shot, they'll usually just give it to you.
Yeah, they usually do. Yeah.
Because they'll give you like a little cup. But so we get a shot and we're just sloshed. Like so. Oh, that's another thing. With the elevation, one drink is 2.
Oh.
You get more fucked up.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you order 1 shot, it's like you're having 2 shots. I had 5 shots.
Oh, you're fucked.
Yeah, so I'm fucked. And we're walking back, just having a good old time. We're giving cars that pass by thumbs down, which is it's a new pastime for me that I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
And so cars are just passing. We give them thumbs down. We're laughing our asses off, looking for something to eat. And we stumble upon a McDonald's.
Oh.
Which is like, okay, it's the only thing we got.
Yeah.
And so we go into this McDonald's. Well, we walk up to the McDonald's drive-thru, and we're like, all right, on 3, we got to jump on this pressure plate to like trigger the drive-thru. Mm-hmm. Didn't work. And so we like walk up to the drive-thru window, and we're like, can we please order food through here? And they're like, what do you mean, come inside? And we're like, you guys are open?
Yeah.
We got like all excited, and we walk in, and we like order like fucking Big Mac meals and nuggets and everything. Oh, and I had this jacket with these big pockets. And so we ate what we could there. I am too, dude. We ate what we could there, and then I put the bags of food in these jacket pockets.
Oh my god.
And so we just walk back, and long story short, about like most of the way there to the hotel, I like just lay down on the sidewalk. And like Cole takes a picture of me. My face, I don't know if it was sunburnt or just the drinks, but it's so red, and I'm like laughing my ass off, and you can see like McDonald's bags poking out of my
looking
pocket.
like a cherry over here.
Dude, yeah, it was a real good time. But we'll get into the real spicy stuff now, because this is and then anything I have left, I'll just say next episode. But I do need to talk about the backpacking trip.
Yeah.
Back to the night of the mussels.
Yeah, the mussels.
So I have my food coma. I take a bunch of like stomach stuff.
Sorry, I didn't piss before the show.
Yeah, dude, bro just pissed like a mountain.
My gosh.
You probably like pissed so hard that it turned into shit.
How'd you know?
I don't even know what that means. But anyway, speaking of shit, the shit I took after this pasta. So.
Wait, at the backpacking trip?
Okay, so this is where it really gets nitty gritty, deep, crazy shit right here.
Okay.
This is really probably the meat of the episode right here. So,
as we just ate some meat.
Yeah, dude, we just ate rolled up pieces of turkey with sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. Highly recommend.
Oh, so good. It's not as good as that sausage probably, but
that wiener in my mouth, rattlesnake wiener. Okay. So, food coma with the pasta, right?
yeah, pasta.
Crazy
what was
fucked
it?
up, dude.
It was mozzarella.
Mozzarella melted on red sauce pasta with bacon bits and like tomatoes in it. Shit was wild.
Made me hungry.
I had like, Jesus Christ, Dennis, come on now.
You look like you got punched in the chest.
Actually, no, I do want to low.
Yeah, I've been low riding all night.
I like the low ride. So, crazy, just not of food in my stomach. I'm like, all right, I have to go backpacking tomorrow. I'm going to take a crazy shit tonight.
Okay.
Take the shit real nice. And I'm like, I'm also going to shit in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to do 3 days, 2 nights. And that means it's highly likely that I will have to shit in the woods. And when you shit in the woods on a backpacking trip, I don't know if you know this, not only do you have to like bury it, but also
bury it?
Yeah, you have to bury it. And then also you have to take your toilet paper back with you. Like in your backpack. Yeah.
You can't just
leave
bury it?
No, you can't. If you're really doing it legit and like not being a dick.
Let me hold on.
Yeah.
In the toilet, you can flush it. What if it rains? It doesn't.
There's no toilet.
I know, but in the toilet, you flush it and it disintegrates from the water and stuff.
But it goes into like a sewer and it gets disposed of properly and disintegrates. But there is no water and you have to bury your shit. And if you leave if every backpacker was leaving shitty toilet paper, it would be a problem.
Yeah.
So you have to bring a bag with you to put your shitty toilet paper in. And if you know me, Marquise, that's no.
You saved it for later for a snack.
Well, yeah, if you're really hungry, but like that, I would be taking the shit would be heinous. All right, and so I'm like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to not shit in the woods. Okay, yeah. So I'm like, I shit at night and then the morning before, and that pasta, I don't know if it was the pasta or the pasta and the mussels, but it fucked me up like real bad that I was like scared of the pasta, right?
Okay.
And so after my morning shit before like the morning of the backpacking trip, I was like I should eat something good because I'm not going to be having like real ass good food for a few days.
Yeah. So
I was like, I guess I'll try the pasta again. And so I took like a few bites, like kind of had a little breakfast, and we get all our stuff ready. I'm like making sure I got my jewels, my phone, my backpack is full with all the stuff I need.
Yeah,
we're getting ready, and we get into the car, and we have to drive like 15, 20 minutes to the start of the trail, and I'm like making sure I have everything, and I'm like, oh shit, I need pods. I'm sorry. And so, but I said it early on, and we're like, oh, it's okay. We have to stop at Walmart and Dick's to get a couple extra things for the backpacking trip. And so we were making those stops, and a couple times it was like, just so you guys know, like, don't forget, like, let's like stop and get pods before we leave town.
Okay.
And he was like, all right, yeah, I got you, no problem. And we start driving after we go to those stores, and we're driving a few minutes, and I'm like, I'm just double checking. You guys do still remember we're getting pods, right? And he's like, fuck, I totally forgot. And so he has to turn around, and he hits a gas station that was actually close. I go in there, and he's like, we don't have pods. And I was like, fuck. I was like, no. And I go back out, and I'm like, hey, they don't have jewel pods. Like, I'll get something else if I need to. Like, I'll pick up a pack of cigarettes or something.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And he was like, nah, it's fine. We'll just go back. It's like 10 minutes back. So I'm like, all right, cool. And so we go back to get pods. Now, this is the first little thing. Do you know what Colorado does with tobacco tax? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know how, like, in New York, a pack of cigarettes, if say it's $6 in Ohio, a pack of cigarettes in New York is like $15.
Oh my god!
Like they tax the fuck out of it, right?
Yeah.
And so people are telling me, like I had been told this before. They were like, "Yeah, they tax you pretty bad in Colorado for tobacco, or like nicotine products." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm sure it's not much worse than New York is." And they're like, "No, I mean it's the worst it can be."
Oh man!
Colorado, I think does tax you as much as they possibly can.
So I'm thinking like 20 for like
I want to hear, okay, I got a 4-pack of pods. How much?
Usually what? How much are they usually?
4-pack of pods is typically
20
$19, $20.
$20.
So give me a guess how much.
$50.
$50? Yep.
It was $50 for a 4-pack.
Yep. I was so shocked.
Did you end up getting them?
Yeah, I got them, but I was so what happened was I walk into this gas station. I'm like, hey, can I get a 4-pack of pods? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he rings it, and I'm waiting to like see the price because I'm like, I heard it's pretty bad, but it can't be worse than New York. And so he rings it up, and it was like it's at like $23 or $24, and I was like, oh, that's a little bit more expensive. That's not too bad. And then he puts in tax, and it adds like $20 more. So it was like $46. And so I was like, holy shit.
There's a tax button?
You know how like when you'll see like the total and then the next thing down under is like tax?
Yeah, tax under.
The way their register was set up was you see the total and then he clicks a button to like total out and
like
then you see tax entered in.
Yeah.
And it was like $46 and I was like, holy shit.
Damn, bro.
dude, a smoking habit out there would be bad.
Bro.
So I get him like painfully, and I'm like, okay, like shit. At least I can at least now I don't have to worry about.
Shit, they got the mango at least or something.
Right, dude. I was like, dude, you better give me a cucumber. And so I was like, at least now I know I'll be fine with pods and Juul, and I have my chargers and everything. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so we start driving to the trail, and I'm like I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest, because I've climbed Buffalo Mountain, picture here, and that was like fun, but it was like difficult, but it's been a couple years, and I was getting over, like I'm not sick at this point, but like I was in the bed, not exercising or anything.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was like, it's probably gonna be pretty fucking difficult, and like sleeping in the woods and everything, but I'm like, I was like, Steve knows. Because it's just going to be me, Steve, Cole.
Okay.
And I was like, so Steve knows that I've never done this before. He probably won't give us like a super difficult one.
No, okay.
And I was like, Cole's also never done it, but like he's done something similar. I'm excited but nervous. And so we drive to the beginning of the trail, and we park, and we like get our bags out and like get all packed up. And Mom's like, here, like, I'm going to get a picture of you guys before, like the before and after, And so she snaps a picture of
you guys are going to lose 100 pounds.
I was like, shit, dude, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to like come back with like blonde hair or something? And so she snaps a picture of us, and hopefully I can put it right here at the beginning of the trail. And so we started walking. And now I'll start by saying, like, I have this thing that I've noticed happens a lot in Colorado. If I have like a big hike to do, for example, right when we started Buffalo Mountain, like a couple years ago, I'll get like the first 20 minutes of hiking, I start to like panic a bit.
Really?
I start to feel like I'm short of breath, and I feel like oh my God, like it's hard to explain, but it's pretty much like me being like, oh, it's difficult to breathe. Like I can't really breathe. And that will happen. I learned throughout this trip that like that just happens to me in the beginning of a hike in Colorado. I don't know really.
Like thinking too much, like I might have to shit myself.
No, it's like you start, it's like I start overthinking my breath.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm like, like you just start feeling short of breath and like nervous, and so that kind of started to happen in the beginning.
Okay.
Because at this point I have 3 days ahead of me, and I have to keep in mind I have no idea what this hike is going to be like.
Okay.
And so I get through that, which is a little freaky, and we're like walking, and the first part of the trail was like you're walking through kind of like a ski resort.
Okay.
Like they're not skiing now, but like they have these, the lifts that take you up.
Yeah, I noticed.
And you're on like the side of a mountain, but like we're at the bottom at this point. So the first like mile, you're kind of like walking by apartment buildings and like making your way up like out of civilization, but you like see buildings around it at first, and we're like gradually going up and up. And the way a lot of the times you'll go up a mountain when you're like hiking is you'll go up a hill and then it'll curve around, go flat for a second, then it'll go up again. It's called switchbacking.
Okay.
So you go up and then around and up and then around. So it gives you like little breaks. So it's not like you're just going straight up.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and we get out of like away from buildings, and we're like in the woods kind of now, and we're walking through, and then we would pass through like a clearing where the skiing would happen, like if it were winter.
Okay.
And you'd see like the lifts and everything. So we go through a couple of those clearings, and then we're like higher up on this kind of mountain thingy into the woods a little more now. And Steve tells us like we only have like one more of these clearings to go through, and then we're like into the woods in the thick of it or whatever.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, cool. And at this point, everybody goes at like their own pace, you know. And Steve is really experienced in this. He's in the front, and he has some distance in between Cole and him, and then I'm behind Cole.
Okay.
And so I'll be straight up. For the majority of this, I was like walking alone. Because they would be following this trail, but I would be behind.
Yeah.
Because not only like yes, I was the slower one of the three, but I also kind of do that generally. Like I'll just kind of go at my own like pace and like take my time. And so, like, just to like explain it, like we're not all together for most of the time.
I get what you're saying.
Like they'll stop at certain points, and then like we'll all meet up together, and then we'll keep going, and then we'll all be separated again. So I would say like 2 hours in, or an hour and a half maybe. Like we're now fully in the woods, like the forest, and like gradually making our way up this mountain. And I'm alone walking, and I come to this place where we were. Right now, the hike was on the Colorado Trail.
Okay.
And we're doing Section 8 of the Colorado Trail.
Fuck, okay.
And so you're supposed to follow these little signs that'll, like, every now and then it'll be like a carving or a sign or a flag. Like the sign, yeah. And it has this, like, little symbol that means the Colorado Trail. And he told me what that is and what it means, so I would know, like, where to go if the trail, like diverts or something. And so it's just me, and like I said, we're like 2, maybe 3 hours in, and I come to this part where it's like straight, and then the other option is going, like, taking a turn and then going up this mountain more. And I had been told that we were like
almost
today. What?
Like there almost, or like?
What do you mean?
Like to the point where you're supposed to be chilling or whatever? Or like, what do you mean you were told what?
Oh, I was told that we were like the first day we were going to be gradually going up this mountain kind of.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And so I was like, all right, the sign makes it look like I'm supposed to take this turn and go up.
And you're alone, basically.
Yeah.
At this point.
And so I was like, I think that's where I'm supposed to go.
Okay.
I don't see them though. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go this way, because the sign, I swear, it really looked that way.
Yeah.
And so I take this turn, and I'm going up this mountain, and we had already crossed the clearing, the last clearing. You know how he said there was one more clearing left?
Yeah.
So I'm like walking through this for like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Still don't see anybody, and I was like, that's weird. I would have thought I'd see them by now.
Oh my god.
And so I'm like going up and going up and going up, and like I start to get really freaked out, because I'm like, this is the first day. I don't know where I am. And I was like, where are they? And so I start like whistling, because I had this whistle, and I was like, I just want to make sure like they're ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I start whistling, and I hear nothing.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, Cole, like Steve, like I start calling their names. I don't hear anything. I keep walking, because I'm like, I'm probably just way behind them. Yeah. And so I'm walking, and at this point it's like 30, 40 minutes, maybe 45.
Okay.
And then I get to I get to this like tree line, and I walk like out of it, and then I'm in a clearing. Okay. So I'm not supposed to be in a clearing, because we already passed the last one, apparently.
So wait, what? So I'm
like a mile away from the track, and I'm in a clearing, and I'm like, he told us this was the last one, but this one doesn't have those little like lifts, the ski lifts. I was like, maybe this isn't fully wrong. Yeah. And so I keep walking, and I pass the clearing, and I go into the woods more, and I start whistling, and I don't hear anything. And I'm like, okay.
Bro, that would scare the fucking dog shit out of me.
Yeah, bro. I was like, this is getting freaky. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know where I am or where they are. And we're in the shit now. So I'm like, fuck. And I check my phone and I have service. And I'm like I try to call them. They have their phones off. And so I was like, fuck, dude, what do I do? And so I'm whistling and I hear a whistle. And it sounds like it's keep going forward. So I keep going forward and I whistle. And then the whistle sounds quieter. Like the response whistle.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. And so I'm like starting to kind of freak out. And I'm like, okay, it's been like an hour. And I'm walking the wrong way, for sure. And so I call I look at my phone and I realize I have service.
Okay.
And I'm like, I call my mom and I'm like pissed. I'm like, dude, they fucking left me. Because you start to get like tired and then get like angry easier. So I was like, dude, where the fuck are they? Like, what am I supposed to do here? They're gone. I don't know where they are. And I'm whistling. Nobody's saying anything. Like, I'm not getting any type of response. And I text the group chat and everything. I'm like, where the fuck are you guys?
Yeah.
And nothing. And my mom's like, well, I'm sure they'll get back with you. Just sit down.
Okay.
And I'm like,
just sit down.
Sit down. Okay.
Yeah, like
I'm
what?
an hour off the trail.
What?
So I'm like, okay, because you don't want to keep going further away.
No.
If you're going the wrong way. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll sit down. And I'm like kind of pissed because it's like.
Start meditating.
I was like, dude, Steve, I've never done this before. How about you don't leave me? You know what I mean? Like I don't mind walking by myself and taking it in on my own and like it's fine. But like at this point when I'm lost and like tired and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do. So how about you don't go that far ahead to where I'm in this situation? So I sit down for a second and I'm just like, fuck, what the fuck do I do? I'm lost in the Rocky Mountains.
Okay.
And so I'm like sitting down and then I hear like another whistle, I think. And it sounds like it's coming from the other way. And I start walking that way. And I'm like, okay, shit. And so then I get a call from Cole. And he's like, where are you? And I was like, I don't know. You guys fucking left.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, try to explain where you are. And I'm like explaining it. And he's like, okay, I think I'm coming towards you. Start walking back that way. And I was like, all right. And so I'm walking for like 15, 20 minutes. And then I hear a whistle. And I'm like, all right, bet. And so I finally start, like, and I call him back. I'm like, hey, are you here? And I like explain where I passed, like at one point. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm coming that way. And then we like meet back up together. And he was like, he had no backpack on, and it was just him. Because he like realized what was going on, and he like went back to try and find me, and he didn't want to carry that extra weight.
Of course.
And he was like, dude, we're 2 miles off the trail. So let's go back and meet up with Steve. And I was like,
oh my
fuck, dude.
Gosh, bro.
So we finally met up and we like walked all the way back to where Steve was. Added like a total of 3 or 4 miles to this hike. And we finally met back up. And I was like, dude, what the fuck, guys? And they were like, yeah, that sign was a little confusing, but you were supposed to go like this way and you went that way. And I was like, yeah, but like it was.
Jeez, bro, that would be so fucking scary.
Yeah, it was the first day.
Jeez, bro.
So we made this rule where it was like, if we every like 30 to 40 minutes stop and wait for everybody like be together.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, you should have fucking already did that.
Yeah.
And then he starts telling me these stories about like how one time he lost my mom and my sister, and like but it was on a day hike or something, and he didn't end up finding them for like 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, and I was like, dude, fuck that. And so I was like, I can't believe I just got lost.
Yeah.
Because that was spooky.
That would be spooky.
The weird thing is I got so much adrenaline that like the hiking back and forth from like off trail to back and meeting up with
You
them
didn't even realize.
felt no exhaustion.
Yeah, you didn't even realize it.
And I had that lingering for a little bit, and then I remember when it came back to me, when the adrenaline wore off, I was like, oh shit, dude, I just worked myself out.
Yeah.
And so we keep going, and this first day was pretty cool, but it was like 7 or 8 miles, and I remember like the last mile or so of each day was so painful, dude. Because you'd be like, we better be close to where we're setting up camp. Because you kind of got to just pick, like figure out where you want to do it and then do it. And you want to stop. Usually you will stop hiking and start setting up camp around sometime between 3 is pretty early, but then like 4 or 5 is usually like when you stop for the day. Oh, really? Because you want daylight.
Time and stuff.
Yeah. So on like the end of this hike of the first day, we were like going through this valley, and then we like made our way up slowly and around, and we wound up camping in the most beautiful spot, dude. I have a picture of it, and it was like up in these mountains, like in a valley with like these like crazy little ponds connected by rivers, and like a super crazy looking opening to where you could just see like all these mountains around you, and then down this way you could see like the sun like rise and set. And like these ponds were like super beautiful. And then we were camped like right in the woods off the side of that, and it felt so good to sit down and like take the bag off. Because it's like dude, my hips were so sore because you have this like strap that goes around your waist.
Yeah,
like,
so it's
rests
like
on top
constantly
of your hips.
on you. Yeah.
So it's not like on your back all the time. And so you like strap that off, and when you take your backpack off, you feel like all like loosey goosey, like and like you almost fall over sometimes. Because it's like you're getting used to your body weight and not like an extra 30 pounds. Mm-hmm. And so we like set up camp and everything, and thank God they were there because I was exhausted and I didn't know.
That would be so fucking scary, bro. I feel like I would freak out almost.
Yeah, it was hard not to do that, but I was like, all right. The adrenaline kicked in, and I was like, just whistle, figure out like what to do. And honestly, since we were only 2-3 hours in when that happened, I was like, I'll wait this amount of time, and if I don't hear from them or see them, I'll go back.
Yeah. Like down that.
I would just go back to the beginning of the trail and like fucking tap.
Jeez.
But, yeah, so I was like, we better not get lost again. And so we like set up camp for that night. It was a beautiful place. And the first night we had this macaroni and cheese with like ham, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah, macaroni and cheese.
But it's also like dehydrated macaroni and cheese and shit, you know.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck.
But the thing is, when you're that tired and you've been working out all day, like, and you're hungry, anything's good.
Yeah.
So we had that, smoked a couple of joints up in the mountains and
that'd
stuff.
Be fun.
Yeah. And here's when shit starts getting sticky. Because we had set up camp and everything was all set up. We ate, chilling, smoked. Cole's like, we're all tired, but you know how I am. I can't go to sleep at 7:00.
Yeah.
Like even no matter how tired I am, that just doesn't feel right in my soul. And Cole's like, it's at 7:00. He was like, I'm about to go to bed. And I was like, dude, I have like 5 more hours before I can even think about that. Yeah. So I'm just like sitting in this tent, like just waiting to be able to. I would get up occasionally, and like he talked about wanting to go to bed at 7, but probably didn't actually go to bed until like 9.
Yeah.
And dude, he was ripping ass.
Oh man.
In this tent, dude, he would like have to get out because he was farting so much. But
that dry mac and cheese.
Yeah, dude. But then we're laying there, and I'm like, hey, I have my portable battery. Can I get my like a phone charger? And he's like, you didn't bring one? I was like, you said you were bringing one. And he was like, I don't have one. I was like, dude, I've been using my phone for music because I knew we had chargers. And he was like, I don't have one. And I was like, fuck. And I'm like, thank Christ they at least have a dual charger.
Yeah.
And he's looking, and I think like 30, 40 minutes later, he's like, oh, actually, I do have a phone charger.
Oh.
No, but then he pulls it out, and it's instead of a USB, like to plug it into
smart
the box,
one.
it's like a Type C.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go into my portable battery.
Oh, man.
And I was like, fuck, dude. And so I'm like stressing about that. And then I go into my pack to get my like Juul charger.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, I don't have a Juul charger. Yeah. I was like,
so everything's just falling apart at this
dude,
point.
I was like, oh my God, fuck. But here's the thing. At this point, my Juul is on like yellow.
Okay.
And then I have
two,
and then I have another one on green.
Okay.
But this is the first night.
Yeah, first fucking night.
So I'm like, shit, dude. And so like I'm like kind of stressing. I'm like, fuck, dude. I literally packed a whole battery pack just so I would be able to charge my stuff, and now I have no chargers. And so I told Steve about that, and he was like, here, what type of charger do you need or whatever? And I told him, and he was like, all right, let me try something. And he had like a battery pack of his own that did have like a Type C input.
Oh, you lucky son bitch.
And then we go to plug it in, and then we like went to go get water. And while like stuff was charging.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this was like when you get the water by going to like a stream or a river, like something that seems decently like not super dirty. And we were camping right by something like that. So we go in, and he has this water purifier.
Okay.
Which is cool. It looks like a water bottle connected to a tube, and then at the end of the tube there's like a little square that opens up, and there's like a white little thing in it.
Yeah.
And you just toss that in the water and then pump it. And then it clears out the water.
Yeah.
And like purifies it. And then I was like wondering what it would taste like.
Okay.
Because it's like river water. He fills the water bottles up, and I take a sip. Bro, it tastes like Ice Mountain water bottles.
Yeah.
Like it was just straight up good. And I'm drinking it, and I'm like, so how does this thing work? And he's like, it's got like a filter that looks almost like a sponge. And like when you push the water through it, it like clears out everything except viruses. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, they're not common, but you don't want to get a virus. I was like, well, what is it like? Have you ever gotten a virus? And he was like, yeah, one time I got a virus and it wasn't good. I was like, what did it feel like? He was like, it felt like I was shitting my insides out, like my organs and stuff. I was like, dude, I was like, that doesn't sound great.
But he's doing this still. Shit. And
I mean, he's been on so many. Like, dude's been to Antarctica, Alaska, Utah, like, and you name it. He's backpacked like everywhere, dude. He's had a crazy life. He would go to like Europe and stay in hostels and like hike along like the country and shit. He's wild.
That's wild.
And so, by the way, the first day was like exhausting. It was the shortest day, I believe. We did like 7 or 8 miles.
Yeah.
I think we did 7 miles plus the 2 miles that I went off trail.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 8, 9.
Yeah.
So we get done getting water and we go back to check on the phones. The charger wasn't working. The cord just didn't charge my phone.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I have no phone charger. But I was more concerned because I'm a fucking fiend or something. But I was more concerned about my Juuls dying, because like I'm cool with not going without a phone.
Okay.
And my phone was at like 40, because I was using it willy nilly because I was like, I'm good. I can charge it. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But I was just playing music. Like I didn't like look at my phone while I was hiking. Okay. But like so I was like, fuck, I guess I'll just conserve it. And then we like go to bed and everything, and it was a little difficult because and it hailed that night too.
Oh, that's horrible.
But it was pretty quick because the storm will go by pretty quick there, and it was while we were setting up the tent, and these like it was just fucking straight ice balls falling down, and then so yeah, we pretty much like that's that night pretty much like, and I remember getting up at one point to go pee and looking up at the stars.
That'd be fun.
Dude, it looks insane.
Yeah.
Like, picture the best stars you've ever seen and then times that by 10.
Yeah.
It looks like you can see the Milky Way.
Oh, shit.
And, like, shooting stars. Because Steve told me about, like, this one night he went out and he was like, all right, I'm going to stay out here until I see a shooting star.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, he sees one shoot from one side of the sky all the way to the other.
Oh, bro.
And it's just wild. And so, and then I came back from pissing and I had this crazy thought. I was like, I wonder, because I was struggling to sleep. I was like, I wonder how many people have beat off in the mountains.
No, you didn't.
I was like thinking about it. I was like,
No, you didn't.
And so I was like, dude, I'd have to bring a flashlight and like go out in the middle of the night and so I was like, I got out to pee like again or something, and then I was like thinking about it, and I like clicked the flashlight on, and there was like fucking like 10 rabbits just like, and like all types of animals just like around me, and I was like, fuck that, nope.
Not beating off to a rabbit.
I was like, no, I'm going back in, and I like went to bed, and long story short, I ended up like having this funny ass conversation with Cole about like that thought, and I was like, yeah, dude, like imagine if some other hiker came up and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just having difficult piss. That was so
I just can't yank it all out. Yeah. Why is your dick hard? Oh,
this is why it's difficult, I guess.
I just woke up.
Yeah, it's 12 midnight wood. But yeah, dude, we were like we were laughing our asses off at difficult pissing.
That's funny.
But then so like we wake up on we get through the first night, didn't sleep horribly, like because you're so tired, and I had sleeping meds with me, so we wake up at like 8 and start packing everything up, and we go on this next one, and this next one beat my fucking ass, dude.
Yeah.
We went, this next day was 11 miles.
Okay.
And we peaked a mountain that day. So like the first day we got up to like right around the top of a mountain, slept there, went through that valley. Long story short, like made our way to another little mountain range thing. And we're like walking. The first part was cool. We're like walking through the woods up, like slightly up a mountain in elevation, and like we get to the spot where it's like really cool because there's these marmots walking around, like little animals that look like groundhogs, and there's like a cabin in the woods. It's like historical, and like park rangers sometimes stay there, and it's got like 3 stories and solar panels, and like people they were checking that out, and I was just chilling and. Like it's beautiful views and everything, and then we made our way through, and like we get to this like part where we have to start summiting or whatever a mountain, right? And it was so fucking hard, dude. I was like having moments where I was like, I can't keep going. Like I had to like stop and stand there or like stop and sit. It was so fucking exhausting. It was like straight elevation. And we like finally made it to the top of this mountain. And like at this point, like Cole is way ahead. Steve was way ahead and then stopped because like he was waiting for me because he saw how fucking difficult it was.
Yeah.
And like so we finally make it up to the top of this mountain. And we were like, all right, well, we're going to have like a snack, which was like sausage and cheese and the sriracha, which was really fucking good.
Yeah, but that sriracha's going to hit your stomach.
Dude, I used the fuck out of that stuff. And so we're at the top of this mountain, and he was like, did you see Cole?
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not even sure. I thought I saw him going on a trail that looked super, like it was going to be super hard, and then we didn't end up going on that one. So I maybe didn't see Cole. It was somebody else maybe.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know where he is. He better not be lost. I'm not going to find him.
Okay.
And I was like, Shit. I mean, I hope he's not. And then we try to call him. His phone's off.
Okay.
And we're sitting there for like 20 minutes. And we don't see him or hear from him or anything. And we're like, shit. Cole's lost now. And so I forget. I think maybe like we waited for like 20, 30 minutes. And we finally like got a call from him or something. And he was like, where are you guys? And we told him, and he was like, oh, I'm like a mile away.
Damn.
But like down further on the trail.
Yeah.
And so we're like, Steve's like, all right, we'll be there. And he hangs up, and he's like, I'm going to have a talk with him.
Yeah, of course.
Because like we were supposed to meet at this peak, and he just kept going. And so, because at times, I'm not going to lie, it was really annoying that like they would just go.
Yeah.
And I would be like alone, just struggling. But I mean,
so Cole felt like Cole got to experience how it was, or whatever.
Kind of, yeah. But except he was like just ahead of us and not necessarily on the wrong trail.
Okay.
But he was like more ahead of us than he should have been. And so we ended up like going and like seeing him like off in the distance, and then it starts to rain. And it like really hard. So we had to literally like jog to him, and then we took our bags off, and you have to put like a rain cover over your bag and like put a rain jacket on and make sure nothing gets wet and everything. And we like rush up to him, and we're walking through the rain down this mountain, and you're like walking down this like rocky trail that's like dirt. And I was like, dude, we better get down here in time because this will turn to mud.
Yeah.
And then we'll be fucked. And so we finally like are getting like through the hard part of it, and we get like down this little mountain range. And dude, it stops raining, and then we hit this like forest, and it was so fucking beautiful. It was so cool. And it was all downhill too. Yeah. So it was really like relaxing to like finally not have to go uphill, because downhill fucks you up, but in a completely different way than uphill.
Yeah, I feel that. And
so we get through this part, and we're in the woods, and I'm like, my feet hurt. And Steve was like, oh shit, take your shoes off, let me look at them. I take my shoes off, the skin on my pinky toe was off. Ugh. Like the whole, like, you know, like below your finger, your toenail, on the like top. Yeah. It was just all peeled off. Ugh. And then I had this huge
sweating.
Yeah.
Sweating and then rubbing against your shoes.
That just reminded me. Fucking the night before we started the hiking, my mom was like clipping my nails while I was in my food coma. And she was like joking around about how when I was a little kid, she would like leave nails like hanging a little bit so I could pick them off myself. But because she did that, I had like all these fingers were swollen because she like practically gave me hangnails on all of them. Yeah. And so they were like bleeding and shit. Ew. For the whole trip. But anyway, yeah, so like, where was I? What was
your feet?
Oh yeah, my feet. So yeah, we had to like wrap them up with tape and shit.
Oh yeah.
And that helped a lot. But yeah, then we made it through these crazy woods, and then like had lunch, which was really good. Oh, and while we were having lunch, dude, we were sitting in this line along this like cliff thing. And we were eating. We had like cheese and sausage cut up with like chips or crackers, I mean. And we were eating, and this hummingbird comes up, and he flies in front of Steve's face for a second, looks at him, flies in front of Cole's face for a second, looks at him, flies in front of my face, looks at him, all like in a row. Like he's like, like checking us out, and then he just like dips out, and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that was
weird.
sick.
Yeah, I mean sick, but that's weird how you, yeah.
He probably wanted our food.
Oh yeah, that too. He's like, let me get your food, bro.
Mm-hmm. But it's crazy how much like a good sausage with, it wasn't even sausage, it was like, you know how they make like those cocks of meat? like a
hot dog almost.
But like a big one.
Okay.
Like a
brat?
It's like this much around, and it's like salami.
Summertime sausage?
Yeah, but it was like more like salami. But we would like slice that up with some Irish cheese, a cracker, and hot sauce.
Yeah.
So good.
I bet.
And so we get through this woods, and then we make our way up another little mountain thing, smoke a joint, and then we're going down there, and we pass this old guy in like a kilt.
Okay.
He had like and I also forgot. Really quick, go back like a few miles. We ran into these hot hikers.
Okay.
And like it was like 3 girls, and dude, the Colorado girls it's like California. Like they're so attractive.
Okay.
Like not even to be weird, but it's like when they're a lot of them hike and bike ride, so they're like just super fit.
Yeah.
And they'll pass you like on bikes, and it's just like, jeez, Christ, because they wear leggings and shit. Oh my god! But we had them like take pictures of us and shit, and then there was a point where they did that, and then they kept going, and we had talked to them, and they were saying how like they had been hiking for like a week.
Jeez, fuck that.
But I was asking Steve, I was like, how common is it for like people to hook up on the trail? And he was like, oh, it happens a lot. And then he was like, but be careful because they can probably hear us. Volume travels like really far in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it was just awkward. I was like, oh shit, I was just talking about fucking on the trail, and they're like, that kid over there is probably anyway. He was saying like on the Appalachia Trail in West Virginia, apparently that's like a known thing. People just hook up. But I was like, not to be TMI or gross or anything, but like that's how you get a fucking yeast infection, dude. You're hiking for days, and
no showers, no nothing.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So we find this old guy in like a kilt and like wearing like this crazy clothes, but he's backpacking too. And Steve like asks him where exactly we are or something, because he has this like map on his phone, like a little trail hiking app. But it's sometimes off. Mm-hmm. And so he was like asking where we were, and he was like, actually, I was just about to ask you the same thing, because I just went down there and realized I don't think we're on the trail, like the Colorado Trail right now. And Steve was like, huh, that's weird. And he was like, yeah, I went down that way, and it was confusing enough that it made me come back up this way.
Oh, fuck.
And so we were like figuring out where we were. And like we were like, all right, well, I guess we'll just go down and like check it out. And we like see this like, it was weird because at this point we see this like parking lot, like a small little parking lot off in the distance. And then like you have to like go down this mountain and go through the woods to get to it and shit. And Steve was like, I think this is the way to go. And the old guy was pretty much like, I don't think so. He's like, he did not trust it.
Yeah.
But then we ended up like walking down together and like trying to figure it out. And long story short, we just like get to this part where there's like a campsite, because a campsite in the woods like this is like, it's just kind of like flat land with a log, and you can kind of see that people have probably slept there, but it's not like it's not like a fucking public campsite or something you pay for. Like it's just like, oh, this is a little part of the trail that you can tell someone slept here or something. And so he finds one, the old guy in the kilt, and he's like, I'm probably just gonna stay here for the night because I've been hiking for like 14 miles or something today. And we're like, okay. And so we find someplace near that and sit down. And at this point, we've done like 8-9 miles. And like we were chilling there thinking about like camping at this spot. And then, and I'm exhausted, dude. Like, and it's...
Yeah, you said it killed you.
Yeah, and so... Because this was the same day that we peaked that mountain, came down from the rain, got through a forest, came up like another little mountain thing, and then like went down. It was a long day. And so we were like sitting there thinking about hiking, and he's like, thinking about camping there. And he's like, oh shit, like this is not as far as we need to make it today, because if we camp here today, that means our last day we have an extra like 2 miles to go, which leaves like 8 miles for us to hike to get out.
Damn.
Which is not what I want to do in the morning.
No.
And so we're like, fuck. And he's like, he sent Cole like a quarter mile up to check and see if there were any more campsites, like a little further. And he comes back. He's like, no, I didn't see anything. He's like, okay, Julian, do you think you can make it like another mile? And I was like, I guess, sure. Yeah. And so we like keep going just so we don't have as many miles to do the last day. And we go like a mile and it's whooping my ass. And then like we get down to like the bottom of this mountain and we like stop to get water. And I'm thinking we might be like camping around there because he said a mile. Mm-hmm. And I like sit down by the stream and they're like getting water. And then Cole looks back at me and he's like, oh, by the way, Steve told me to tell you don't touch those plants because if they get on your skin will blister up and fester and melt.
Nice.
Like he was like, it's a poisonous plant. Yeah. I'm sitting there like it's like that mug.
Okay.
Like close to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? You guys couldn't have told me.
Just now
that.
telling me.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's fucked.
Should be something in the beginning to talk about.
Yeah, and yeah, so I was like, dude, that's fucked. And I'm like sitting there and trying to avoid touching anything, but I'm sitting on the ground, and he's like, yeah, your skin will like blister and pop up and like bubble and shit. Mm. And I was like, damn. So we're getting water, and then he's like, all right, we probably have like a half more mile to go. Can you do that? And I was like, sure. At this point, I'm pissed because I'm just so tired. And we keep going, and we get down into this like marsh, like little wetlands kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And we go up and find this road. And we go to the road, and we find out like it's like a paid camp, or not a paid, it's a campsite, but like more like what you imagine when you say campsite. Like it's like people could like park their cars and camp there, and it's by a road. And we find out that it's like reserved already and closed off. Okay. So we can't camp there. And he's like, all right, we have like a half more mile to go. And so I was like, dude, come on. And so we keep going. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to like see like if any of these reserved campsites look empty. And I'm going to try, like if we see a park ranger, we'll say that you're sick. Okay. So act sick. And I was like, okay, sure. And so we keep like passing these little buildings that look like they might have somebody in them. And I would start to like be like acting sick. Like I would be like, and then nobody would be in there and I'd be like, fuck. Like I just acted for no reason. Yeah. And so like we keep going, and it feels like it's forever that we're like, and it's all extra. It feels like, okay, because we could have camped back at the bottom of the mountain, but we didn't because it would be too far for the next day. So we keep walking, and then we get to this place where it's like we're off like a dirt road, and we go into like the woods again, and there's this sign in Spanish. And they were like, hey, can you read this, Julian? And I like read a few words of it. And it was pretty much just like, it sounded like don't come back here. I like kind of like that, like don't go this way. But then it said something about like having some, like a certain kind of object on you that you can't have. Something like that. But then we just like pass that sign and keep walking. Yeah. And we finally make our way out of this woods and we see this big line of like cement building things, but like abandoned kind of. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, oh, these are the bunkers. And so I was like, what? And so we like walk up and we're looking at them, and it's like this line of like 30 bunkers, and they're all like old. And he's like, yeah, so this is around the area we wanted to camp tonight, like that we planned to camp. And it's like these old bunkers from World War II where the military would train soldiers for winter conditions. Oh, fuck. So, like, they would want the soldiers to be prepared for, like, Russia or, like, the Alps or something. Okay. So it used to be this huge military base where they would like train soldiers to ski and shoot. Oh fuck! And to do like snowshoes and backpack and like do all this winter stuff, but also like be a soldier.
Yeah.
And so the only thing left over were these bunkers, and I have a picture of that too. We'll show a picture of what it used to look like and what it looks like now. Because what it used to look like, I'll just show you like really quick because it's super easy. It was insane, dude. It was like this whole military base. And he was like, yeah, we're like here now, so let's find a place to camp. That's what it used to look like.
Jeez, that's like hundreds and hundreds of fucking bunkers.
Yeah, and they would shoot off mortars there,
Oh,
and there were mines around the area. And so we start walking to a place we think we might be able to camp, and I see a sign, and it says bears. Like, there's bears in this area. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because we were talking about black bears the other day, because there's only black bears in Colorado.
Okay.
And so we see the sign about the bears, and we get to this place where it's practically like in the woods alongside the edge of this mountain, and then it's right across from the bunkers.
Okay.
And right next to that is a sign that says, warning, explosives
Nice.
in use. And so we're like...
So it's an old sign.
Yeah, it's an old sign. And Steve was fucking with us, and he was like, yeah, just watch your step. And so we start setting up camp across from these bunkers, and I'm just like thanking God. And I was like, dude, I'm so tired, and I was so ready to like just chill. And so we're setting up camp, and this guy walks through, and he's like, did you see the sign? And Steve was like, what sign? He was like, the explosives. And he's like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
like,
they got to come back and dig all those, or like.
He's like, okay. And he like keeps walking, and Steve like gives him some advice on like where he thinks he would enjoy to go based on the trail he's trying to take. And he was like, all right. And he's just like, you can see him go in the distance and just completely go the opposite direction of where Steve told him to go.
Jeez.
Because he thought we were camping on like a minefield.
Yeah.
But like it was just an old sign.
Like mortars are shot out of. Mm-hmm. I was thinking the same. Like they would have like shit in the ground as well, but.
And they just didn't listen to our recommendation and left. But so we're like chilling at our campsite, and then fucking we're making dinner.
Okay.
And dude, there was one point where Steve was like, "Oh shit, we used a lot of gas last night. I don't know if we'll have enough to make food." And I was like, "Bro, please don't do that."
Yeah, don't say that.
Like, dude, I need to eat. Like we had
like that little energy.
Yeah, like we had little protein bars and things, and like Starburst and like little snacks like this sausages, but like the dinners were really what like you eat. But so he's like trying to make dinner, and then he's like, "But first, it's happy hour, guys," and he pulls out this flask full of like Kettle One vodka. Mm-hmm. And then he makes cocktails with like orange tang or something. Okay. It tastes like Orange Crush. Yeah. It was so fucking good. And so like, I mean, and like a drink after a hike like that is real nice. So we like rolled up a couple joints and smoked and had some fucking orange vodka and enjoyed that. And then we're making dinner, which luckily we were able to make. Yeah. But dude, I want to try eating this like not after a backpacking hike. Yeah. To see if I still like it as much as I did this one night, cuz this shit was so good. But like by the looks of it, it seems like I might have only liked it because I was so tired and hungry. Okay. But it was like this rice, chicken, peas, and green beans curry. Okay. And so, but we put like sriracha sauce on that too. Towards the second half, I was putting sriracha sauce on like everything.
Just fuck it. I'm surprised you didn't shit yourself.
Dude, at this point in the story, I still have not shit. And it's been 2 days and a night. So, but you start to chafe. It was bad, dude. On the last day, it got real bad. But yeah, so we had like a cocktail and then ate this like chicken rice curry stuff, and it was really fucking good. Like I ate a lot of it. Yeah. And then like that's kind of like that was like I know. We just like slept across from these bunkers, and by the way, each and every one of the bunkers had at least one hornet's nest in them.
Damn.
Because we looked in them, and that was pretty sick. And then we like talked about what we were gonna do for the next hike to get out, which was so we did like 10 or 11 miles that day, and then we had another 6.5 miles to do.
Damn.
The next day.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're exhausted.
In total, how many miles for the whole trip?
The whole hike was 27 miles, I think. And it was the Section 8 of Colorado Trail, and there's a bunch of sections, so you can literally look up the exact trail we did.
Okay.
Because Steve's been trying to make his way through the whole trail piece by piece.
Yeah.
Because the weekend before we got there, he did Section 9. So he went back and did Section 8 for the first time with us.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we like went to bed that night, and me and Cole were like cracking up, just laughing, like talking until we went to bed. And in the middle of the night, dude, I start hearing footsteps. And I was like freaking me the fuck out. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And like you hear like rustling of like a tent, kind of.
Oh, fuck that.
And I was
That's
like, dude,
creepy.
I can't do this right now.
Yeah, that's not what I want to hear right now.
Yeah, and so I'm like, no, like, fuck these footsteps. And it's so quiet and dark outside.
Yeah.
And then, like, it settles down for a little bit. And then, like, an hour later, I hear, like, definitely an animal. And keep in mind, we're in bear territory. And so I'm like, fuck, dude. And they'll eat your, like, Steve told us a story about a black bear and her cubs eating the toothpaste out of his friend's bag. And, like, how spooky that was. So I was like, dude, I hope I didn't leave anything. Or because you have to, like, spread it out away from your camp.
Yeah.
We had this, like, big bucket thing that was, like, bear-proof that we put just, like, away from our camp so that, like, if they want to fuck with it, they're not by us. And you just hear this big thumping, like, around the campsite. And I'm like, dude, how am I going to sleep tonight?
Yeah.
And it started raining, which was, like, super loud on the tent. It was like, and it was like, fuck, dude. And I finally fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was just, like, so beat. And I talked to Steve, and he was like, yeah, a guy came into our campsite last night and just cowboy camped, which means, like, he just, like, put down a sleeping bag pretty much and slept on the ground. And then, like, got up before we did and left. So that was the one footsteps. And then I asked Steve about, like, the other footsteps, like the probably animal. And he was like, I don't know, dude. But I felt something, like, brushing up against my tent.
Oh, that's creepy.
And I was like, dude, fuck, dude.
That's creepy. So you think it was probably a bear or something?
He said that he thought it might have been an elk or a moose. Because he said that, I think one of them said they saw elk shit, like, by the camp. But yeah, it was wild hearing that stuff in the night, and like it's just pitch black outside. Definitely made it harder to pee.
Oh yeah. Definitely made it harder to pee.
And so yeah, then we get up, and I'm like, at this point I'm like, let's fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, not even just the campsite, but like the whole thing, because I'm exhausted, dude. I can't even really do it justice. Like, it's 27 miles is much more than it sounds like. Like,
yeah.
Because you're doing, like, close to 10 miles a day with 30 pounds on your back and uphill and all that. But so we start hiking, and I mean, long story short, like, the last day it was really annoying because the first section of the day was, like, completely uphill.
Yeah.
It was just like I was talking to Steve. I was like, do I want to know what we have to do on the last day? He's like, no. Mm-hmm. He's like, you don't want to know.
You don't want to.
And he gave me this option where he was like, if you want to, you can take that road and go, like, you can go follow it, but I'm worried you'll take the wrong turn. And I was like, and we won't be with you. Like, you would take that road alone.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like a mile or two extra, but it wouldn't be uphill. And so it was really tempting to take the easy way. But I was like, no, I might as well finish strong and, like, just, like,
Definitely
do it and not worry about making the wrong turn or something.
Yeah.
And also it's like hot and sunny as fuck. Like we've been burning, and like I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm a lot tanner.
Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah,
I was burnt through the trip too, and the mosquitoes were so bad. But anyway, we did for the last 6.5 miles to get out, and it was like, I mean, it's not a whole lot to say about that last hike, because you're just focused on getting the fuck out of there.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and like, there was one point where it was uphill, and it was like the last hard portion of it,
Okay.
and I screamed. I was like, "Fuck!" Like, and after, like, they heard me because they were like half a mile away from me, but they still like just heard me be like, "Fuck!" Because you'll be like hiking up, and then you make a turn and go flat for a second, and then you look up and realize how much longer up you have,
Yeah.
and you're just like, "Dude, fuck this." But yeah, so I mean, we finally made it out, and dude, the second day, the one little thing I want to say is, dude, there were these are dandelions the ones you blow? Like you blow them and they spread.
Yeah, yeah.
There were these dandelions that were like this
No,
big,
wait.
like huge dandelions.
I don't know. I'm not
But
sure.
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know what you're
Those like gray things that you can blow and they'll like spread everywhere. But they were like so fucking big.
Yeah.
Like 4 times the size of most like of those. Anyway, we finally like make it out. It feels amazing. And then we're waiting in this spot to get picked up, and we don't know when Dawn's gonna come pick us up because we sent texts that didn't make it out.
Yeah.
But we were like waiting for an hour, and then she finally got us and pulled up a Cutwaters and everything, and like we all had drinks, and then like we left, and that's when we had the sausages, the rattlesnake sausages and everything, and like there was these like bread with them, and like all these super good mustards, and dude, you eat so much because you're just so hungry, and then like the first time seeing myself was weird as fuck because I didn't know how burnt I was, and I might put a picture of that too. But yeah, and then like that first shower back, and then I finally like just shit my brains out, and it was relieving. We went to a hot springs where like you just like sit and relax in these like natural waters that have minerals in them and everything. Yeah. And it just like soothes your whole body and shit. But it was nice. And then like that night we went and got drinks at this bar called Mother Loaded. Fucking somebody with us got a 32-ounce mason jar full of like a cocktail, and then we had a few drinks, and then got after the drinks we got $65 worth of crepes. They were so good, dude.
I bet crepes are good.
And then the next day
pancakes are better though.
What? Crepes are better than pancakes. Nah. What kind of crepe have you had though?
Ohio crepes?
Dude, I had like a cheesecake crepe. I had like dude, you remember the Nutella tortilla wraps that I used to make? I literally had like a crepe version of that. Instead of like a tortilla, it was a crepe with Nutella and cinnamon and shit. But anyway, yeah, so I'll end it quickly with just the fact like we've finally made this like 27-mile backpacking trip. It felt good to finish. And then I ended up finding out that motherfucker put us on a trail that was 4.7 out of 5 in difficulty. So my first backpacking trip was 27 miles with that much of a difficult like incline and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Cole's like all freaking out. He's like, dude, we need to do more of these. We need to do more. Like, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? And I was like, I'll do it, but give me a second because that shit was exhausting. Yeah. And, I mean, pretty much like and then the next day, like before the day we left, we just kind of chilled and we got to like walk our neighbor's dog, which was chill. And then we went to a dispensary and got these like crazy like Skittle edibles and just ate the fuck out of those. Smoked a moon rock joint, just had a good day, had good brunch before we left, and then we had to take a 3-hour shuttle down from the mountains into Denver airport with like a bunch of other people. And I mean, there's like a couple little extra little things, but I mean, we're going long now, so I'll kind of just
2 hours and 30 minutes, my boy.
Yeah, it's a fucking
we make
epic.
movies now.
Yeah, dude, it's an epic. So
No, this is very long. This is a long ass podcast.
I mean, fucking Joe Rogan did 5 hours with Post Malone.
That's fucking long, bro.
I mean, it's.
But Joe Rogan gets I don't know, like he's at that point where he can do however long he wants, and
I could probably go another hour and a half if I wanted to.
I don't know.
But I am hungry, dude. I'm talking about all this food. And that's the other thing. Like, I've said most everything that I had written down, but
I was about to say, I don't even think you need a second part on this because you've said everything.
Oh, no, but, like, there's still, like, a couple more things. Like we were airdropping pictures to people on the airplane. We were on the airplane. We had one AirPod in, and then, like, I had my AirPod in, and then I had one of Cole's headphones in, and he had the same thing.
Yeah.
And we would mix songs, like trying to like DJ type shit.
Okay.
And it was hilarious, dude, because some of them would come out really nice, and then some of them would come out stupid. But when they were really nice, we'd like bob our head and shit, and, like jam out. And there was like one lady like sitting next to both of us, like, what the fuck? And then there was this like hot girl across the aisle, and we like airdropped her a picture of like Cole's dog. And dude, it was funny. They hated us. And,
fuck it.
And then the last thing, and we'll go. There was on my way there. Cole had this genius idea of like, oh, we'll just board the plane last because our seats will be the only ones left, and it'll just be easy that way. But it was Southwest, and they don't do that.
No.
So literally, when we got on, they called our names over the speaker. And apparently, and on top of that, my mom like paid extra for us to be the first people to board. So we fucked it. And Cole's in front of me, and he sees Colin and Julia, sits next to them. So it's just the three of them on the aisle.
Yeah.
And then I go directly behind Cole just out of pure instinct. And then I realize I'm in the aisle seat, and to the left of me is a mom and a baby. So I had to get up 6 times so the baby could pee. The baby was crying, and the mom was like just not in the best mood.
No, yeah.
So it was real awkward. But yeah, Colorado was wild.
Yeah. It just sounds wild. It was creepy at first.
Dude, I mean, I wanted to make it a little bit, freaky. Yeah, I didn't even talk about the cheeseburger fight either. But, all right.
Cheeseburger.
This is episode 75 and potentially episode 76. I'm about to go munch on some food.
Me too.
Marquise is about to not talk to me until next podcast, probably because he doesn't love me.
That's not true.
No, we need to.
I tried to text you. You haven't even opened my Snap for like 3 weeks.
Snap.
Yeah.
Well, you probably sent it when I didn't have service.
No, 3 weeks. You were here 3 weeks ago,
shit,
motherfucker.
3 weeks ago.
Talks about I won't talk.
Bro, let's
I
hang
tried to
out
hit
soon.
this motherfucker, and he doesn't even
going out with
open.
Colin and Julia tonight. Come.
It's 8:30 now.
But do it.
But.
When are we hanging out then?
We could do like Saturday
Saturday?
or something. Yeah.
Wednesday, motherfucker. You don't love me.
Do
you work tomorrow?
Yes, I work every
I'm just gonna come
day.
get shit faced at CADDYS Delight. Go check it out. It's a fucking amazing place, and you can get Tequila Tuesdays and all kinds of good food and
it should be.
putt
Well,
and
not even open Monday.
all kinds of stuff. And Marquise doesn't work there. He works somewhere else. Go check it out. I fully recommend it. I will be there tomorrow.
I'm gonna cut my ass off.
We
need better chairs.
Really?
Yes.
All right. I got you. We'll put it in the books. All right, guys. Go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Go tell your mother you love her and check out Colorado. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories, the antics, and the type shit that I've been on.
I felt like I was there.
Did you enjoy it?
Of course I enjoyed it.
All right, well, I enjoyed talking to you, friend. And I enjoyed talking to you guys. Hopefully you come back for next week and we'll have some good old stories to tell. Because me and Marquise are apparently going to go hang out on Saturday and we'll make some stories. And maybe next week we'll talk a little bit about why flying cars are going to be insanely dumb and dangerous.
Yeah, I saw that.
They dropped, dude. Like they're out now.
Yeah.
You can like pre-order them. Dude, that's so dumb. So dumb. All right.
But you know you'd buy one if you had the money right now.
Speaking of buying something, go to Scheunemanbrand.com. Check that out. More to come very, very soon. I also have an update to tell Marquise, but you guys don't get to hear about that.
I was going to ask about that update.
But some crazy stuff's going down, guys. Keep in touch. Stay tuned. Comment, like, subscribe. Go to the website and get yourself something nice. Winter's coming up, y'all. Or save your money, because you never know what might be coming around the corner. Love you all. Love you. And
ciao.